right, so how was call strategy part 1?
Good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, pretty exciting stuff. Now we're starting to get into the nitty gritty, right? Getting into actual strategy. Everyone on this call has, for the most part, prior sales experience. Some of you are very tenured. I know many of you are from Yelp. So it's interesting to see what the strategies are for selling a puppy, since pretty much all of us have never sold a puppy before, right? All right, so let's jump on into module 2, which is the call strategy 2, discovery, why now, and urgency. I'm going to share my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Fun times. All right, great. All right, so we learned about in call strategy 1, the strategy for selling a puppy. And what is the strategy for selling a puppy?
Empathy, getting to know a person's emotions. It's emotional sale.
Well said. Absolutely. This is an emotional sale, right? It's unlike any sale you've done before. You're going to be working with people who have lost their dogs, who are grieving, who are maybe going through a divorce, right? What is their reason for wanting to purchase a puppy with you? All right, let's just jump on in. All right, so let's talk about that reason, right? Nobody just wakes up one day and says, hey, I think I want a puppy today, right? There's always a reason that somebody is on our site and they're looking for a dog. So let's get into that a little bit. Kelvin, why don't you read this one for us, please?
Sure. Customer discovery. Why now? The customer journey. Imagine for a moment you're a customer going online to search for a puppy. Do you just wake up one day out of the blue and say to yourself, hey, I think I want a puppy? What events or circumstances might lead you to desire having a new puppy in your life? Every customer that goes to our site has a story of what led them there. When a customer goes online and searches for a puppy, ask yourself, what is the underlying reason the customer is on our site to begin with? What made this person go online, search for a puppy, pick up the phone to inquire about a specific puppy, or even enter their credit card information to purchase a dog sight unseen?
Right, I'm going to stop you there for 1 second, Kelvin, before we move on. All right, so yes, so every customer has a story. There is a real reason, an emotional reason why they are on our site looking for a puppy. And it's our job as puppy concierges to discover what that is, right? Because once we understand why somebody wants a puppy, how does that help us sell the puppy?
You understand what what brought them to this point and how to go from there.
Yes, you understand what brought them to this point. What else, guys?
Well, once you know, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Can use their backstory of why they want a puppy to help create a rapport and build that relationship with them to, I understand, I've been there too, create that emotional connection.
Well said. Yes, you want to build rapport and build that emotional connection. Absolutely. What were you going to say, Kelvin?
Well, once you know a person's why, that's what you're always going to go back to. Whenever they start hesitating or you're trying to close a sale, you're going to take them back to the reason why they called you in the first place.
Spoken like a tenured salesperson. Absolutely. Yes. Once you understand why, you can always go back to that why should you get any kind of objection, price objection, so forth. When you understand the emotional reason why someone wants something, it's easier for you to overcome those objections. All right. Many of us, I mean, how many here, wanted something and the price was not an issue?
Pretty much everybody.
Right? Can someone tell me something that they purchased that they didn't care how much it cost, they just were going to get it because they wanted it or they needed it?
A TV. Any man. A TV. Big TV.
There you go. Yes. You were like, I don't care how much it costs. I want the biggest TV, the best TV. I spend a lot of time at home. It's COVID. I need this in my life for my sanity, right?
Exactly. That was my pitch to myself.
Well, there you go, right? So we know when we really want something, right? Nothing is going to stand in our way, right? It's just chatter. But really, as tenured salespeople, when you understand that why and that emotional reason and you make that connection, it's really much easier for you to sell whatever you're selling, whether it's a puppy, copiers, whatever it is. All right, so let's think about some of the questions that you guys should be pondering every time you're on a call, right? Why is this person online looking at puppies? Again, nobody just wakes up one day and says, I think I want a puppy today. What made them click on that particular puppy? Now, why is that something that you guys may want to ask yourself when you're speaking to a customer?
It could be because let's say they're looking for a golden retriever. There are many golden retrievers on the site, but something about that particular one kind of caught their eye.
Right. Does it maybe remind them of a dog they had in their childhood? Maybe a dog that passed away, right? What is it about that particular puppy that they like, right? Did they recently lose a dog, right? You're going to get a lot of those. Does this dog remind them of their beloved Asia that passed away? Did they see their child's eyes light up at a recent party because there was a Labradoodle, right? Maybe they have kids. Do they have kids? Who is this dog for? Is it for them? Is it for their kids? Has their daughter been begging them for a Yorkie since last Christmas, right? And maybe now is the time because it's COVID and people are home, right? Or there's a lot of uncertainty in the world and people are anxious. Now's the time to get, my daughter that Yorkie she's been wanting. Did they recently go back home to visit their parents and remember their beloved childhood dog, Milo? Are they going through a breakup or divorce? This is a big one, guys. People get lonely or people have new beginnings, right? So they're breaking up, they're going through a divorce. Maybe, they're empty nesters, they're older, they have their kids going away to college, right? There are many, many emotional reasons why people decide that they want to bring a new family member into their space. And have they recently experienced the death of a loved one? All right, and they may be grieving. So these are just questions for you to ponder every time you're on the phone. And you'll see as you're making dials and talking and you've been here for a while, it's very easy to just sort of jump in and get into the nitty gritty of the logistics of like this puppy and this puppy ID number. But really, I encourage you guys to really make a connection, a genuine connection with your customer, and ask yourself why you're on the phone with them to begin with. So let's get even more into the why they're purchasing a puppy now. Let's talk about discovery and the emotional hot button. Who wants to read this one?
Do you want me to read it?
Go ahead.
Go for it.
Okay, so the customer journey, the emotional sale. Buying a puppy is not like buying a product or service. We are selling a living, breathing being, a family member that may be with the customer for 10 plus years. Similar to the emotions generated when a newborn infant joins a family, selecting a puppy is a very emotional event. As puppy concierges, it is our job to ask questions to discover the emotional hot button. What is the emotional hot button? Also known as the emotional trigger. It's the trigger that brought the customer to the point that they actually took action in search for a new puppy online. Ask yourself, why would you take the time to research a puppy online? Why would you invest in your energy searching, selecting, and even speaking with a representative from Puppy Spot? What would bring you to that point?
Thank you, Fran. So yes, so the emotional hot button, all right, you're going to hear this over and over again in our trainings here at Puppy Spot. It is an emotional trigger. It's the reason that the customer wants a puppy. And as we talked about, there are many reasons why somebody might want a puppy. So again, what could some of those reasons be? Take yourselves off mute. Let me know.
Well, their kid was dying for a puppy and last Christmas, and now they're ready to get it.
Yep.
As you said, companionship.
What, Juan?
As you said, companionship.
Yep. Companionship. Why? Take it deeper.
Could have recently went through a divorce, lonely, a breakup, loss of another pet, possibly to replace a loss of another pet.
Yes.
Those are some
They're
reasons.
all, yes, well said. Emotional reasons. They're triggered, right? It's called a hot button because there's like fuel and passion, right, behind it. You know, again, this isn't like selling a copier or a phone, right? There's a real sort of gut-wrenching thing that there's something about it that is charged, right? So again,
Yep.
bring you guys to the point to want a puppy. I mean, most of us here have dogs. You know, at one point I had 3 dogs. I now have 2 dogs. You know, for me, you know, one of the dogs that I have now, Gigi, I found her after I lost a pet. I lost another dog that I had had for 10 years, and I was grieving, and I no shame in it. I found Gigi. So that was a real reason, you know, an emotional reason that I was like, I want another dog, right? I want to fill that void. And you're going to get that a lot, right? I mean, for those of you here who have dogs, can someone share to me how they came to have the dog that they have? What was the reason that they wanted that dog in their life?
My husband, we had been living together, and he started going to law school, and that was, you know, across the state from me. So he ended up moving. I stayed where I was because of my job, and I was very lonely, and I just wanted someone to snuggle at night, and so I got a puppy.
Completely understandable. Makes sense, you know? And again, that's people, we get lonely. We're human, right? So you know, it's a reason to bring a furry family member, someone that's going to bring you joy and cuddle with. Anybody else want to share why they have a dog in their life now?
In my case, Raquel, my first dog, he been with me like over 15 years, and I know it's sad to say this, but I gotta find like a replacement dog before he dies, and I brought my pit bull Austin, and still, you know, it as you said, there's passion because I know he's gonna die like very soon, and I gotta find another type of companion, you know, and that's how I brought my dog, you know, and around a month after I brought him, then my first dog died. You know.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, and that's kind of what stinks about, you know, having dogs or cats or pets that they don't live as long as we wish that they would. But the good news is that we really are providing, and thank you for sharing that. We really are providing a wonderful service to people. I mean, we all hurt and we all need joy and companionship and love. And many of us, you know, grieve throughout life. That's just life. But as puppy concierges, I've said this before, you really are changing somebody's life. You guys heard Jess talk the other day about how she's still in contact with one of her customers, and you're going to find that you're going to have the same type of relationships with some of your customers. So again, you're changing somebody's life. You're helping them. You're making it better for them. And this is why we all work here and we're passionate about what we do.